Hello everyone, welcome back. So the topic for today's discussion is going to be how to find accommodation in Canada, especially if you're an international student like me. So when should you actually start looking for accommodation? That will be the first question. And the answer to that, in my opinion, would be once you have your visa approved. So once you have your visa approved, at least you're sure that you will be traveling to Canada at some point in time. So you can start looking for accommodations. Some people start looking for accommodation once they come here, once they travel and reach Canada. But I feel that the apartment or housing prices at such times, usually in fall, are pretty high. So it's better if you start planning and searching for accommodation before you even reach Canada. So I'll tell you how I did my accommodation hunt before I even reached Canada. So first of all, I met 3 other people who had deferred from last year and were going to join this fall, which is fall 2022. So it was pretty sure, and again, all of them were from U of T, just like me. So it was sure that all 4 of us were going to study at U of T starting this fall. So all of us needed an accommodation. Now at this stage, it is actually important to sort out your preferences. For example, me and my roommate are both non-veg, so we do cook non-veg together. But my other 2 flatmates are vegetarians, so they cook their food together. So it's actually important to sort out your preferences before you finalize on a roommate. Once the roommates were finalized, we prepared a list of requirements based on which we'll do our apartment or house hunting. So the first requirement was that we should not pay more than $750 per head. So as I said, 4 people were going to stay, so none of us should pay more than $750. The second requirement, or you can say it's like an arrangement, was that sharing rooms is actually fine. So we were looking for a 2 BHK, 3 BHK or 4 BHK such that 4 people can stay in it. So even if it's a 2 BHK, then 2 people can share 1 room, and that's how it's going to work out. The next requirement was that our accommodation should have a clear route to the university, because all 4 of us are students at the University of Toronto. So being able to reach the university on time and in a very clear way, so that we don't have to shift or like switch buses too much, that would be a really good plus if our accommodation has that. So these were the requirements that we had in mind before we actually started our accommodation hunting. By the way, if you're finding value out of this video, kindly press the like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps my videos reach more people and motivates me to keep making videos like this. Initially, we were looking for apartments close to the university so that we could just take a 5, 10, 15 minutes walk and reach there. But then because of the very high accommodation prices right now in Toronto, we could not afford such a place. So we had to move away and look into more of a suburban area. At this stage, we also got to know about another requirement, that international students have to provide a guarantor who must be a PR holder or a Canadian citizen, because as students our finances are really low and we don't even have a credit history. So we need a guarantor with a strong finance and at the same time a good credit history. So they will basically guarantee the payment on our behalf. So that was one thing we had to look into, and luckily one of the flatmates here knew somebody who is a PR holder in Brampton. So he offered to be our guarantor, and we are really thankful to him, because that is why we have this place which we call home, and otherwise it wouldn't have been possible. There was another way, however, that we must pay 6 months of rent as deposit. So if you don't have a guarantor, you might be asked to pay 6 months of rent in advance as a deposit. However, this requirement does not apply everywhere, as one of my friend who got an apartment in Waterloo, she did not have to get a guarantor at all. But in our case, we had to get one, and most of my friends who are studying in Toronto and they got their apartments, they had to get a guarantor. Now let's talk about the actual house hunting. So we didn't go to the websites like Kijiji or Facebook Marketplace, because we were 4 people and we wanted to lease an entire place. So we did not want to sublet any place, and that's what Kijiji and Facebook Marketplace are for. So we skipped it and kept it for the worst case scenario. So we started with websites like rentals.ca and Padmapper. These are the websites where realtors post available rental properties like apartments and houses, and if you're interested you can contact them, and those realtors on your behalf will then contact with the landlords and try to get you the property. And for their service they charge some commission from the landlords, so you don't have to pay anything extra for the same property. Through this method we did find some properties that we really liked, and so we contacted the realtors and they tried everything they could from their end to get those properties for us. But then our application was way too weak because we didn't have strong finances as a student, and also the competition for such properties is very high. So there were cases where the property that we were applying for already had about 20 to 30 applications previously. So it's very difficult to get such properties when you're a student. If we were a family, then it would be really easy, but then that's not the case. So yeah, this method was a failure for us. At last, the realtors gave up on us, saying that our application was way too weak to try for, so we should instead try on a website like viewit.ca, where we could directly contact landlords or property managers and explain our situation. So that is exactly what we did. We signed up for viewit.ca and we created a Google sheet. We kept a track of all of the properties that we liked, and we also got an international calling pack to Canada via Geo, because that's a provider that I was using back in India. So I got an international calling pack, and then we used to cold calls these property management or landlords, and we used to explain our situation and ask them if they were ready to allow 4 students staying in a 2-bedroom apartment. We did this consistently for 15 to 20 properties, and then finally we got a positive reply from a property management firm, actually an agent from a property management firm. So we asked the guarantor to take a quick visit at the property and just ensure that it is livable, it lives up to its standard, and then we signed the lease, paid the deposit for about a month. Yeah, so 1 month was the total deposit that we had to pay on this property. Alright, so this is the place where I'm currently staying. It's 49 here, the 49 number, and this is the surrounding area. It's a residential place, so it's quite peaceful. You can see we have all residential houses here, and the streets here are pretty calm, not much traffic. We have benches nearby to sit and relax. This is my roommate, and here I'll just enter the house and show you what's inside. So this is the living room. I'll close the door behind me. Yep. So this is the living room. We have one couch here, the second couch here. These are the laundry bags. You might have seen them in the previous video which I had shot, and I was shooting it exactly at this spot, and this is the tripod. So your shoe rack and everything. It's still like pretty new. We haven't really furnished everything. These are some of the things we found in the scrap, so we just picked it up from a house nearby because they had thrown it, and we found it like a gold mine. So we just grabbed it. It's really good for sitting and relaxing in the hallway. And now we'll move on to the dining area. So this was the hallway, and over here we have the dining area and the kitchen. So this microwave came with the house. The previous tenants had left it, and this is the toaster we bought recently. It works flawlessly, and these are everything that came with the house. So the refrigerator, the cooking stove, oven and everything, and we keep all the utensils and things inside. So we'll quickly move on to this place here. So this is the storage compartment. If I open this, here you can see all of the stuff that we had brought from India, and also the stuff that we purchased here. So boxes of the pressure cooker, this is the toaster, and some shoes and everything. So I'll just close this. So this is actually a good place. It's actually underneath the staircase, so it's a really good place to store our luggage, so it doesn't litter around in the hallway. And over here, we have the passage to go to the bedroom. We have a radiator over there for heating. So it's an old house. It's not very new. I think it must be around 30 to 40 years old. So it has radiator style heating as opposed to forced air heating. So this is the first room. This is not my room, by the way. This is of two of my friends. So it's a pretty big room. They have closet, So it's like completely full of clothes and everything, and the two beds. So these bed frames were also part of the house, like they came with the house. The previous tenants had left it, so they didn't take it back. And over here there's the radiator for heating, and it opens to the next house towards this place. Okay, I'll quickly close this back again. So both of them have actually gone out to attend lectures. I didn't have lecture today, so that is why I am out here shooting videos. So back again into the hallway. This is where we came from, and this here is the washroom, the bathtub. So we have installed these bath towels and then the mat and the anti-slip mat inside. So the washroom is pretty basic, nothing special. This is me, hello. And yeah, we use this as storage, so it has plenty of storage. The entire house actually has plenty of storage. We bought this from Dollarama, so we are able to keep our bath essentials over here. And now we'll move into my room. So towards the right hand side, there's another storage, by the way. So here, me, my roommates, my flatmates and all, we keep all our stuffs here. Like, so whatever is extra, we just keep them here. So these are some of my trousers and jeans and everything, nothing special. And this is my room. So this is my bed, and this is my roommate's bed, our bags. So this is another radiator, and this is the window that opens to the back of the house. So over here you can see there's a garage and everything. So it's not a pleasant view as such, but it does give a lot of sunlight, so it's a nice thing to have. So again, this lighting and everything. So this is my roommate's chair and standing desk, and this is mine. So they both are from the same place, like we bought them from the same place. Actually, it's from Amazon and the same quality, the same company. So this is, as I said, it's a standing desk. So if I press, okay, so I think connection is loose right now. I'll just plug it back again, and yep. So you can see it's saying 73, so it's currently at a height of 73 centimeters. If I press 1, it's gonna go to 100 centimeters, which will be my standing height. So this is pretty cool. So now I can just put the chair inside and I can work while I'm standing. So this is my laptop and all of the gear that I have. And also, like, these beds and all I had to buy after coming here. I mean the mattresses and even the bed sheets, because the bed sheets that I carried from India didn't fit. The same went with the pillow covers. So I had to buy the pillows and pillow covers from here again. So we have some place to hang our clothes over here, some hangers, and this is the closet that we have. So these are my clothes, and these are my roommate's clothes, and we have some jackets and other things placed over here. And we also use it to keep some extra baggage and some documents and stuff like that. So that is pretty much my housing. So as you just saw, my accommodation is a main floor house unit in a residential area. It's very calm and peaceful, and the rent for this place is 2300, which is actually split between 4 of us. So we had to pay 1 month of rent as deposit. So the rent is $575 per head per month, including heating and water, and tenants have to pay for hydro and Wi-Fi themselves. So if you think about this number, which is $575, it's actually very good considering Toronto. The only thing here is that we are sharing rooms, and it's only possible because the rooms in this place are pretty big. So we are able to comfortably share it between 2 people. If you go to a place like downtown or harborfront, so in such areas you'll find rooms for you'll find places or apartments for similar prices, but then the rooms there will be really small, so you won't be able to accommodate 2 people in them. And also the landlords there aren't really open to allowing multiple people staying in the same room. So there's this policy over there that the number of tenants should be equal to the number of rooms. So that was pretty much it. And also I wanted to let you know that even though it looks like a residential area, we have everything nearby. It's not actually a suburb. So we have like convenience stores restaurants, subway station, TTC, bus stands, and then these streetcar stations. Everything is in the walkable distance, and it's actually very comfortable. There's also a walking trail over here behind on the other side. So like periodically, me and my flatmates, we all just take a stroll out, and we like walk around 2-3 kilometers, and then we come back the other way. So it's really a really good place, to be honest. We often find ourselves going out and sitting in the benches, drinking coffee. The only thing we are worried about is the heating, since it's an old house. So it does not have the forced air heating system. It has these radiator style heatings. So there are these really big radiators in all of the rooms. So people have said that they work well, but we are not sure. So we'll have to wait for the winters to come before we could judge. Now, I'd like to give you some tips to help you with your accommodation hunting. First, prepare a set of requirements and budget based on those requirements. This may include the number of flatmates or roommates that you're planning to have. Once you have the requirements and budget in place, looking out for apartments and filtering them becomes much easier. Also, if you have flatmates or roommates, you can split the tasks among yourselves. Now, if you wish to share your room, I would highly suggest viewit.ca than any other website, because you could directly contact landlords and request them or explain your situation. So you'll basically have a much higher rate of success if you directly go to viewit.ca in case you're going to share your room with another person. Another important point to note is that you should not pay anything to the landlord or the property management firm or the agent or anyone unless someone from your side has personally visited the property and seen the condition and they like it. Only if they say that the property is livable and you should go for it, that is when you should sign the lease and pay the deposit. So that was all about the accommodation hunting. In the next video, I'll talk about my part-time job at a tech firm. So yes, I am doing a part-time job here, and it's not the usual type. It's in a tech firm, so it's a tech-based role. So I'll tell you everything about how I got this job, how I applied, and what are some of the things that you should keep in mind when applying for such a job. So stay tuned for that video when it comes out, hopefully next week, and take care.